Hey everybody, it's the Songman. It is July 8th, 2018. Well, I have finally thought of an idea for a new YouTube channel, and this is it. It came to me a couple days ago. I was actually out of town and I was just driving in the van to go get some things at the grocery store. And I just had on a classical music station on the radio. It was probably public radio. Not even sure what channel it was, what station it was. But anyway, I was probably listening to it because I wasn't happy with anything on the radio. You know, the radio plays frickin' Steve Miller, greatest hits, you know, Tom Petty, all these things over, CCR, over and over and over and over again. And it's not that I don't like them. You know, they're great songs. Or like Pink Houses. I mean, how many times are you going to hear Pink Houses? Or, you know, we don't need no education. I mean, I love, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love John Cougar Mellencamp. I love Pink Floyd. I love CCR. I love all those bands. But they only play the hits that you've heard a million times. So I just said, well, I'll just listen to classical. And, you know, I listen to classical sometimes just to get away from rock and pop. But that's for some reason, that's how the idea for this YouTube channel came to me. I was just driving, listening, and like, wow, this is a good piece of music. I don't even remember the composer. I think it was a British composer. But I was just thinking to myself, I wish I could let people know the feeling I'm having right now. I'm enjoying this piece of music. And it's so different. I had just looked earlier in the day through my Twitter feed. You know, I'm following Billboard and Rolling Stone and all these people, and all they do is promote these bands that are just so bad for your ears, bad for your soul, bad for your mind. It's all about people, just these women shaking their butt in front of the camera in their underwear, or these shallow songs about being happy and R&B type stuff, like with these Whitney Houston type, you know, I can't do it, but you know, the vocals go all over the place, Mariah Carey type things. And hey, that takes a lot of talent, but I don't know, usually the songs that go with that type singing don't move me at all, you know. And all this stuff is auto-tune these days, and so much rap out there. I hate rap. I can't stand rap music, hip-hop, whatever they're calling it these days. And so much of that, not only do I hate the music, but the themes are just all about gangster stuff, you know, killing and raping. And I mean, it's just, young people are listening to such horrible stuff. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this channel is to expose people in their teenagers and people in their 20s to a lot of great old music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s mainly. But I'm not confined to those eras, but mainly from that time period. I want to show young people what music moved me, what I love, what I still listen to these days that really moves me. So I'm also thinking of people my age, in their 40s or older, where I was way into music when I was younger. So you guys may not know about, yeah,
Can I go over to Sam's and bring my Kindle?
That's fine. That's fine. I'm making my huge YouTube debut, and my kids got to ruin it. Anyway, so I also want to tell people my age about cool albums they may not have heard about, you know? Because like I said, I've listened to tons of music. I got a huge record collection. I mean, here's just some examples. Rolling Stones, Cheap Trick, great album. Document, great r.e.m. album. You know, what's their names? Grateful Dead, Ringo Starr album. Van Halen, Yes, Rush, ELP. And I don't know, I just got tons of music I want to turn you guys on to. Love the Byrds, Paul McCartney, Boston, of course. You know, I'm gonna try not to talk too much about Boston and Eagles, Hotel California, and Journey's Greatest Hits, and things like that that everybody knows about. I'm going to try to hit things that aren't so common. I mean, that's an excellent album. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. Here's a Devo album. I don't know. I just have tons and tons and tons of music. 10cc, here's a Willie Nelson, Grand Funk, Air Supply. I got a lot of classical too. Here's Beethoven, Schubert, Mozart. You know, I'm just chock full of music, and I love music. And I want to turn you guys on to what I like and see if you like it too, and maybe you'll bring some new music into your life. Here's a good example. It happens to be on my desk right now. Richard X. Heyman, good power pop guy from the 80s. Have you ever heard of him? You probably haven't. Police, probably know that one. I think that was their first album. Guadalcanal Diary, great pop from the 80s. Really nice singer, nice songwriting. And I'm just breezing through this now. I mean, my channel is going to be talking about these albums. So this is just an overview right now. So I'll probably review a lot of these. Jon Stewart, great country rock. This guy lived in California in the 60s and did a lot of stuff like with Linda Ronstadt and Flying Burrito Brothers, you know, that group of people. They're kind of all one movement. Supertramp, probably know Indigo Girls. Dukes of Stratosphere, this was a project that, what's their name? XTC did. They didn't want to put XTC on this project because it was a little different than their normal stuff. This is more like psychedelic rock. Chips from the Chocolate Fireball. But this is basically XTC under a different name. That's a really, it's got some cool stuff on it. The Raspberries, I mean, have you heard of the Raspberries? They've had a lot of, they had some power pop hits that were cool stuff. Like I say, I mean, I'm just like overflowing with music. Have you heard of Driving and Crying? Here's a lot of Irish music I like. Cheap Trick, Jane's Addiction, like some punk, Minor Threat, you know, Joe Walsh, everybody knows about. Steve Morse Band, it's kind of nerd rock, but great guitarist. You know, here's some of my favorites. This area right here is some of my favorite bands that I grew up with. Let's see, Pink Floyd, love Pink Floyd. This whole row is Pink Floyd. The Beatles, this whole row is the Beatles. This is well, actually the Stones are on that end. So that's probably my favorite Stones album. And again, I'm blowing through this. This is just an introductory video to give you guys a taste what I'm going to be talking about on this channel. This type of music, but not only this, I want to find new bands that are good too. I want to turn you on to brand new bands. Here's Queen, love Queen, Genesis. All this is Genesis. You know, Selling England by the Pound. Foxtrot's my favorite Genesis album. Yes, I love Yes. You know, here's Drama. Going for the One from the 80s. Close to the Edge. Just great stuff. The Kinks, love the Kinks. Soap Opera. This is a great album, I think, from the late 70s that not one of their most popular albums, but had a lot of great stuff on it. XTC, I just mentioned. The Smiths, I like the Smiths a lot. Zeppelin, love Zeppelin. Who doesn't love Zeppelin? The Doors, you know. The Who, love the Who. Everybody knows that album. This is a great live album, Live at Leeds. The Eagles, I like the Eagles. I like r.e.m. You know, Big Stars. I mean, do you know Big Star? If you don't, check them out. It's a great band. The Byrds. That's the Bird section. A lot of great Bird stuff. So yeah, here's more. Just tons of CDs. Here's more. ELO, Jeff Beck, Billy Joel, Tom Petty, Stan Rogers. Have you heard of this guy? Check this guy out. That's a great album. He's kind of a Canadian folk rock guy, mainly from the 70s, some in the 80s. Nick Drake, yeah, you probably know about him, but if you don't, check out that album. That's a awesome one. Pink Moon. Nick Drake, kind of a depressing acoustic guitar guy from England. Spirit, you know, that's some wild kind of psychedelic type stuff from the late 60s. I don't know, the list goes on and on and on. Sunvolt, Nashville West. This was the guitarist he was in the Byrds for a little while. Terrence White, I think is his name. Anyway, he died in an unfortunate accident by the side of the road. I think he was loading his amp in his car and he got hit by another car. He was a great guitarist. Just all sorts of things. Heart. Remember this album from the 80s? Heart. Midnight Oil from the 80s. So, The Grays. How many people have heard of The Grays? That's a pretty cool album. Rochambeau. Matthew Sweet. I like a lot of his stuff. You know, Ben Folds 5. This is my classical section in jazz. A lot of classical I got. You know, I'll review some classical and jazz if I like it. You know, Herbie Hancock. That's an awesome jazz album. I don't know. It's just like you know, Bird, of course. He's one of the masters. Elvin Jones. I love Elvin Jones as a drummer. So, I don't know. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already 11 minutes. So this is a taste. Oh, Genesis. Love early Genesis. All right, let me stop looking at albums. Anyway, this is my studio. You know, this is where I record songs for myself. So another thing I want to do with this channel is kind of present my own stuff. Like, all right, here I am talking about other bands I like and other albums I like. Well, here's some of my stuff. I've got a new band that I want to introduce to you guys, so it'll be some of that too. So in the comments, if you know of any new bands or old, I probably know about the old band if you list it, but you know, go ahead. If you don't think it's kind of an obscure band you don't think I'd know about, let me know in the comments. But I guess mainly I'm interested in new bands. If any of you guys know some new bands to help me out here, because I mean I could search for days on end and I might come up with 5, but send me some links of bands you guys like that you think I'd like. Like showing you all the music I just showed you, you kind of get a feeling for what I like. So if you know any bands that are currently around these days, like still together, playing as we speak, let me know about them and I'll review them on this channel and I'll let the world know about them. So yeah, that's my new video, that's my new channel. Please stay subscribed, get other people to subscribe. This is a music hub. I want everybody to feel at home in the world, a refuge in this world of just crappy music that just doesn't do anything for your soul. This is the place where you can find good music to get in your life, to enjoy. Okay, thanks guys. Talk to you guys hopefully later this week. I'll make my first official review of an album. See you guys later.